A couple of years ago, in a fit of optimism and guilt, I decided to save the planet. My plan was ambitious, starting with my morning dose of caffeine. I banished my old drip coffee maker and bought one of those super modern capsule machines, but with a twist. I would only use 100% compostable capsules. I felt like a recycling superhero. Every morning, as I tossed the used capsule into the organic waste bin, I gave myself a pat on the back. Me, an agent of change, an ecological warrior. And then, one day, out of pure curiosity, I read the fine print on the packaging. Turns out it's 100% compostable. That meant compostable in an industrial composting facility. I googled the nearest one to my house. It was 150 kilometers away, and of course did not accept waste from individuals. My little ritual of planetary salvation was, in reality, a fraud. I was paying 40% extra for a product that ended up in exactly the same landfill as the others, only with earth green packaging and a font that looked like it was hand-drawn by a forest elf. That day I realized something fundamental. The eco-friendly industry is not designed to save the planet. It's designed to sell you absolution for your environmental sins at a premium price. And it is, without a doubt, one of the most brilliant scams of our time. To understand how we ended up paying more to feel good about our trash, we have to look at the cultural context. We live in an age of eco-anxiety. The news bombards us with images of polar bears surfing on chunks of ice and graphs that look like the EKG of a terminal patient. We feel guilty. Guilty for driving, for turning on the lights, for existing. And guilt is the most fertile ground for marketing. Brands know this. They know that most of us aren't going to chain ourselves to an oil rig or dedicate our lives to activism. We want an easy solution, one we can buy at the supermarket. We want to feel like we're doing our part without radically changing our lifestyle. It's the modern version of buying indulgences from the church in the 16th century. You don't have to be a good person all the time. You just have to pay to clear your conscience. Eco-friendly products are that indulgence. They're an emotional shortcut. You're not buying detergent, you're buying the peace of mind that you're not poisoning dolphins. You're not buying a cloth bag. You're buying moral superiority over the person who still uses plastic. It's ego disguised as altruism. And while we feel like the heroes of our own ecological movie, the big corporations are laughing all the way to the bank. But where did this brilliant idea of monetizing our guilt come from? The irony is that the term that defines this whole farce, greenwashing, was born from one of the stingiest and most ingenious tricks in business history. Let's go back to 1986. An environmentalist named Jay Westerveld is on vacation in the Fiji Islands. In his hotel, he finds a small note in the bathroom asking him to reuse towels to save the coral reefs and protect the environment. At first glance, it seems like a noble gesture, but Jay, who was sharper than Wile E. Coyote with a new ACME plan, realized something. While the hotel was asking him for this small sacrifice for the planet, it was in the middle of a massive expansion, building new bungalows and using up resources like crazy. The hotel didn't want to save the coral reefs. It wanted to save money on laundry. It was a moment of epiphany. He coined the term greenwashing to describe this practice, pretending to be eco-friendly to hide unsustainable practices and, at the same time, improve your profit margins. What started as a way to cut operating costs at a hotel turned into a global, multi-billion-dollar marketing strategy. We went from a little white lie about towels to an entire industry built on the same premise. How exactly did they turn that little lie into such a profitable business model? The business model behind most eco-friendly products is simple, and it's called premiumization. It's a fancy euphemism for charging you more for almost the same thing. The trick works in 3 steps. Take a boring everyday product. Paper towels, dish soap, trash bags. Products no one feels an emotional connection to. Step 2. Apply the green layer. Swap out the shiny plastic packaging for brown recycled cardboard. Use fonts that look handwritten. Give it a name like Earth Purity, Eco Soul, or Nature's Embrace. Add a couple of green leaves to the logo and, if you're feeling bold, some official-looking certification that no one understands but sounds important, like certified by the Solar Forest Alliance. Step 3. Raise the price. This is the key step. The markup, which can range from 20% to 200%, doesn't reflect a higher production cost. It reflects the value of the story they're telling you. You're not paying for the product, you're paying for the narrative. It's what I call the virtue tax. Every extra cent is a small donation to your own ego, a tangible proof that you're a good person. The customer acquisition cost is surprisingly low because the customer already comes pre-motivated by their own anxiety. Once you have them, the customer's lifetime value is extremely high because people become loyal to the brand that makes them feel virtuous. And this model isn't exclusive to the eco world. In fact, they copied it from another industry that's an expert at selling air. If this strategy of selling vague promises at high prices sounds familiar, it's because you've seen it before in the wellness and supplements industry. It's exactly the same playbook. Think about it. A totally natural supplement that promises to detox your body. What does natural mean? Arsenic is natural too. What does detox mean? Your liver and kidneys already do that for free. But the wellness industry, just like the eco industry, sells a simple packaged solution to a complex and frightening problem: illness and death. They use the same age-old language, free of chemicals. They play on the same fear, the fear of the artificial, the processed, of science we don't understand. A $12 green smoothie isn't nutritionally much different from eating an apple and a handful of spinach, but it sells you the fantasy that you're hacking your health, that you're part of an exclusive club of enlightened people, as if you were a character in a Wes Anderson movie who only eats earth-toned foods. Greenwashing is the health washing of the planet. Both exploit our ignorance and our laziness, offering us a magic pill or a bottle of sulfate-free shampoo so we don't have to do the real hard work, researching, changing habits, and accepting that there are no easy solutions. And the numbers show that this strategy is absurdly profitable. Let's talk numbers, because this is where the scam becomes astronomical. According to a Nielsen IQ report, sales of consumer products labeled as sustainable in the United States alone reached $150 billion. Brands that make sustainability claims grow almost 6 times faster than those that don't. 6 times. It's insane. The social impact is even more perverse. By focusing the entire narrative on the individual consumer, corporations achieve 2 things. First, they distract us from their own screw-ups on an industrial scale. While you're torn between a paper straw that falls apart in your mouth and a bamboo one, the 100 largest companies in the world are responsible for 71% of global industrial emissions since 1988. But of course, it's your fault for not recycling that yogurt container properly. Second, it creates a false dichotomy. They make you believe that the only way to be an environmentalist is by buying their expensive products. This alienates people with fewer resources, making them feel that sustainability is a luxury, a club for the rich. True sustainability, the kind our grandparents practiced, fixing things, not wasting food, wearing the same clothes for years. It's not Instagrammable, and most importantly, it doesn't generate profits. But as always, when the system tries to squeeze us, people find ways to fight back. The biggest hack against the eco-friendly scam is realizing that you don't need to buy almost anything they're selling you. An $8 bottle of eco-friendly all-purpose cleaner? A mix of white vinegar, water, and a few drops of lemon essential oil costs just pennies. It cleans just as well and doesn't come in a plastic bottle, even if it's recycled. $15 for a pack of 3 reusable sandwich bags? People have been using Tupperware and lunchboxes for decades. Natural loofah sponges that fall apart in 2 weeks? A wooden brush with stiff bristles can last you for years. The real hack is going back to basics, realizing that the most eco-friendly solution is almost always the one that doesn't involve buying something new. It's an act of quiet rebellion against a system that wants you to consume your way to salvation. It's understanding that sustainability isn't a product, it's a habit. And of course you might ask, if all this is so obvious, why is it legal? There's no one regulating these claims. The reason companies can get away with it is that we live in a regulatory loophole. Terms like eco-friendly, sustainable, green, or natural don't have a strict legal definition in most countries. Legally, they're just smoke and mirrors, pure marketing talk. In the United States, the Federal Trade Commission, or FTC, has a set of guidelines called the Green Guides, which are supposed to prevent companies from making misleading claims. But that's all they are. Guidelines. Enforcement is lax, and the fines for a multinational are about as significant as what you find in the couch cushions. Unless the lie is blatant and demonstrably false, like claiming a product is recyclable when there's no infrastructure to recycle it, it's very difficult for a company to get into trouble. It's a system that encourages brands to push the truth to its limits. They don't have to prove they're good for the planet. They just have to make sure no one can prove they're blatantly lying. It's a marketing game, not a scientific one. And the fuel that powers this engine is our own brain. This is where consumer psychology comes in. Our brains are wired to seek the path of least resistance. We love shortcuts, and the climate crisis is the most complex, overwhelming, and paralyzing problem of our era. When you're faced with such a massive problem, the natural response is analysis paralysis or, even worse, denial. Eco-friendly brands offer us a third way, symbolic action. Buying that plant-based water bottle isn't going to reforest the Amazon, but it gives you a small dose of dopamine, a sense of control. It's the get-out-of-jail-free card in the Monopoly game of climate anxiety. It's much easier and faster to buy a product than to change your transportation habits, reduce your meat consumption, or pressure your political representatives to implement serious energy policies. Selling the magic solution is incredibly profitable because people are desperate for one. You're not selling a product, you're selling relief. But sometimes this selling of relief crosses the line and becomes outright fraud. There's a difference between clever marketing and outright lying. And in the world of greenwashing, that line is crossed constantly. The most infamous case is, without a doubt, Volkswagen's Dieselgate in 2015. For years, they promoted their diesel cars as a clean, low-emission alternative. They built an entire brand image around German engineering and environmental responsibility. The reality was that they had installed illegal software in 11 million vehicles to cheat on emissions tests. In real-world conditions, their cars polluted up to 40 times more than what the law allowed. It was the corporate equivalent of a James Bond villain, with a plan as bold as it was cynical. The stunt cost them more than $30 billion in fines and settlements. But you don't have to be so dramatic. Let's look at Keurig, the coffee pod company. In 2022, it was fined $3 million in Canada for falsely claiming that its K-Cup pods were easily recyclable. The reality was that, due to their small size and the mix of materials, most municipal recycling systems couldn't process them. These cases are just the tip of the iceberg of a systemic deception, and they disguise it with exquisite design. If you've ever walked into a store like Whole Foods, you know what I'm talking about. The experience is meticulously designed to make you feel like you're in a sanctuary of purity. The lighting is warm, the aisles are made of wood, and the vegetables are misted with a fine spray that makes them look as if they were freshly harvested by druids. That same philosophy is applied to product design and the online user experience. The packaging of eco-friendly products is a masterpiece of color psychology and typography. Earth tones, greens, and pale blues that evoke nature. Craft paper textures or unbleached cardboard that feel rustic and authentic. On the websites, you're bombarded with badges, seals of approval, and stock photos of smiling people in wheat fields. It's a sensory assault designed to override your critical thinking. You're not evaluating a product, you're absorbing a vibe. It's the same principle Apple uses in its stores to make you feel like you're buying the future, only here you feel like you're buying salvation. The good news is that there is a way out of this marketing maze. The big scam of eco-friendly products isn't the product itself, it's the idea they're selling. The idea that we can buy our way out of this crisis without changing anything fundamental. It's a comfortable narrative that absolves us of collective responsibility and shifts it to an individual purchasing decision. The most eco-friendly action you can take tomorrow isn't buying a bamboo toothbrush. It's using the one you already have until the bristles fall out. It's repairing those jeans instead of buying new ones. Ultimately, it's about challenging the idea that to be a good person, you have to buy something. And now I ask you, what's the most ridiculous eco-friendly product you've seen in a store? And if you enjoyed this autopsy, the marketing scam about coffee capsules will surely leave you decaffeinated. If that was a bad joke, what do you